Agriculture farming is done on two different types of scales, subsistent and commercial. Subsistent farming is done on a small scale and they grow crops to feed the family. You can usually see this type of farming in less developed countries. Subsistence farming is then broken down into two parts, intensive and extensive. Intensive is done on a small farm, but it requires you to do a lot of work in order to get the most out of your farms. As you can see here that there's a lot of people working on the farm, but it's a small piece of land. Extensive is done on a big piece of land with minimum labor, but you really don't get a lot of food from it. An example of this would be pastoral nomadism. You can obviously see that people are following their sheep and herding them and then probably going to kill it later on. The technique slash and burn is used by both intensive and extensive. This is where the farmers cut down the trees in order to get more land and plant more crops. Commercial farming is farming crops just for the reason of selling them and then making a profit. Unlike subsistent, this uses machines like tractors, cultivators, irrigation systems, and etc.
Mediterranean agriculture is an example of commercial farming. Another example would be plantation farming. This is done on a really large farm and is usually done in developing countries. In southeastern US, commercial gardening and fruit farming happens there, just because the climate is very humid, so you can put fruits and vegetables really fast there. The most famous type of commercial farming is mixed crop and livestock farming. Most people do this because the workload is distributed evenly, but most of the crops do get consumed by animals. Von Thumann's model helped commercial farming by telling how far the farms need to be from the markets. His models consist of 4 rings that wrap around the marketplace. The first ring is dairy farming area. The product, which is milk, has to be closest because it can easily get spoiled. The second ring consists of trees. This is the second ring because lumber is very heavy to transport, so it has to be good rich for the marketplace. The third ring is the grain farming. It requires a lot of land because the crops that grow there are highly dependable crops in the world. The last ring is livestock ranching area. Yes, this area requires the most land because it is used for animal grazing, so basically the more land you have, the more animals you can get. Subsistence and commercial are very different, but they do have some stuff in common. They both need land, both require seed to grow, both use fertilizer, and require labor. The end.